Hello everyone. This video walks through completing Packet Tracer Assignment 10.1.4, Configuring Initial Router Settings. This Packet Tracer assignment is a part of the Introduction to Networks version 7 Cisco Networking Academy curriculum. So at this point in the semester, we've already done the initial switch configuration settings, and it's pretty much very similar to a router. There are a few other settings that you can set on a router, such as configuring interfaces in a different way, going deeper and being able to assign an IP address to an actual physical interface in a switch. If it's a regular layer 2 switch, you can't assign an IP address to the physical interface itself. You can set a virtual interface like a VLAN interface. However, in a router, you can set a actual IP address, and you need to, on a physical interface, because remember, routers are concerned with IP addressing, switches are concerned with MAC addresses and delivering it to the end device itself. Routers are concerned with just getting it to the next IP address or the next device network. Okay, so you'll see that a lot of this is going to be a review for you. So we're going to click the console cable down here, or the connections icon, and click a console, choose a console cable. And we go from the RS-232 port to the router's console port. And we're going to click on PCA here, go to desktop, terminal, and click OK. And voila, we're right here ready to get started with our router configurations. So let's zoom in a little bit here. So our directions, if we can get those in there at the same time, have us type enable right here, and you can shorten it with EN as well. So you can do enable or just EN and hit enter, and we're brought to the next mode here. And then we can do our show commands here, like show run. You'll notice if you do a show run and press the space bar to go down here, you have different ports. So remember, with the switch, we had like 24 fast Ethernet ports, which is an abundance of those because we're trying to connect a lot of end devices to the internet. Where here, we are not trying to do that with a router. So we'll have less ports, you'll notice. So we've got 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, a couple of serial ports, which are WAN, wide area network type connectors. And then we've got, 4 fast Ethernet ports, and that's it. So a router usually wouldn't be the device that you want to connect the PC directly to. An enterprise Cisco router usually be like a switch, okay? So let's scroll down some. So when we get to the configurations, and again, this will probably be some review for you, but it's good review. So we want to go into configuration mode with config T, and we want to configure the host name as R1. So we'll type in host name R1, enter, and you see it change there. The next was a banner or message of the day. So we're going to do banner MOTD, and then, banner MOTD, and then in quotation marks, we're going to do unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. Now, this assignment doesn't grade what you type in, it just grades to see if you have a banner. So banner MOTD, unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. And end with another set of quotation marks, hit enter. Then we're going to encrypt all plain text passwords. So that command is service password -encryption, hit enter. And what that does is it's going to encrypt all the passwords, whether it's encrypted or not. This privileged exec mode, unencrypted, remember that is enable password. What it'll do is it would normally store it in plain text, which is not good for us. So that's why we typed in the service password encryption command, because it'll go back and encrypt it. Now, there is another one that is stores encrypted for privileged exec mode, and that is enable secret. And then it's a secret. Now, to remember which passwords to do where, when you type enable and it asks you for a password, that is protecting the privileged exec mode. So you're in executive mode there, but you're blocked from getting to privileged exec mode, okay? So when you type enable and you're prompted with a password, that is where you want to type the password that you use for enable, either enable password or enable secret. So kind of think enable and enable, the password you set there. Now, if you set an enable password and an enable secret password, then the enable secret is actually going to override the enable password that you set. So it'll be like you never even did the enable password right now, because you have both set, so you can know which one to type in after you type the word enable to get to the next level. The next one they have you type in is console. So we're going to do line console 0, or you can shorten it to line con 0. And then we're going to do password let me in, and then log in to force it to use it. Then we can exit out one. Now let's make sure these passwords work. So I'm going to type exit one more time and exit one more time again. All right, I'm going to press enter to get started, and you see here it displays our banner or message of the day. Unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. Then we're going to type in our first password here, which is the console password. This is preventing you from accessing the console. So we do let me in, press enter. Now we get to the prompt where we are in exec mode. Now to get to privileged exec mode, where there is a pound symbol, we need to type enable or EN. Then it's going to prompt me for a password. Now again, we set an encrypted and an unencrypted, an enable secret and an enable password. Because we set both, the enable secret, the encrypted one, is going to override it. So the password I want to type here is it's a secret, and press enter. Okay, so then we go to configuration mode one more time. And it wants us to make sure to save our configurations here. To save our configuration, sorry, let's back out one, is right here where we can do our show commands. We do copy, run, start. Or if you want to type it all out, copy running dash config space startup dash config. We press enter once. We want to save it locally on our router. So we press enter one more time and OK. All right, so then it gets us to 100%. Now remember, if you're ever confused on what you have configured or haven't, you can always do a show run, press enter. You see here, hostname R1. The passwords won't show because we did encrypt them, okay? But you do see you have an enable secret and an enable password set. By spacebar down, we didn't configure any of the interfaces, but we did set a line console password right here, and it's forcing it to log in. We set a banner or message of the day. We didn't set any remote line access or anything. So that's it for this lab. Hopefully, again, that helped you review, and this is very similar to what we configure in a switch environment. So that concludes lab 10.1.4.